talks. I think that people bring what they bring, and I think there's no real ultimate definition. But I do think if you love this stuff, if you love language and literature and art, then you're going to do your homework. However that is defined. You go to college and you do it that way, or you just love to read, you read. But, you know, what I've learned from people like Lucille Clifton and others over the years is that they invite you into the biggest sense of what you can do with language. And for me, that is an inspiring way to do poems. And I think if you go and embrace what Maurice Whiteman used to call an all-in-all approach to music as opposed to an either-or, then it really doesn't matter, to me personally, at least at this point, you know, whether you write in form or rhyme or you change the form. Every poem has its own form in the final analysis. And I think that what happens often is we get, frankly, we get comfortable. We find our voice and we basically squat down and we never leave. And if your voice happens to be Smokey Robinson, that's one thing. But if your voice sounds like everything everybody else has said, or as I say, pejoratively, although I love, you know, Hallmark, you know, energy sometimes. But if you can find it in a Hallmark card, it's probably not your most creative way of expressing yourself. Especially since, you know, life and literature and art is a breathing thing. And so right now, most young poets start with political poetry. When, you know, if you look back in the 40s, maybe and earlier, they started with Shakespearean type these and thou energies. So the work is changing. Now we have to be, those of us in my generation have to be aware of what the younger men and women have taught us through the hip-hop experience, because they have rhyme stuff that I never thought could rhyme, because they respect intonation and the oral power of communication. You know, one of the things about this workshop for me is the reason why I just come and listen. If I feel like I have something I'm ready to workshop, I'll still workshop. It's because people are listening to each other and they're talking back and forth. But if you're really honest, which is what this workshop has consistently asserted is important to get better, then you will not let bullshit slide. Okay. And bullshit is anything that's easy, even if it's your truth, with all due respect. That's my particular approach. That's my critique. Because the truth just said, hey, it's my truth. It really doesn't necessarily move you. Context makes it move you, maybe, you know, whatever. I don't know. I think we should be challenged by literature. Because life is a challenge. And I think we're complex folks. You know, we get past certain rites of passage, deaths of loved ones, divorces, heartbreak. The language should grow and evolve as we grow and evolve and survive. And that would be my encouragement. I was
reading a poem today by Neruda, and I read a line in there that said, "Throbbing bread." What the hell is throbbing bread? But it was so captivating. I just wanted to try to get a picture, an image in my mind of what he was trying to communicate when he was saying that, and that's, I think, for me, part of the work that I love. And I've loved over the years about the world stage, and I would like to encourage all of us to do, is to find your voice and find those creative ways to be able to express yourself. Find that language that is you, even if you have to create new language and new ways to express yourself, new ways to layer your work on the page. You know, and I think that's the work of an artist, you know, because you don't want to be cliche. You don't want to sound like somebody else. You want it to be fresh and new, and you at the same time, and honestly you expressing yourself at the same time. It should engage the senses, the five senses when you're writing poetry: the seeing, the hearing, the taste, the smell, the touch. All of those things. It should incorporate those things, and it has the use of metaphors and similes and all those things. But you should find your voice, find creative ways, and read other poets. Read other poets. Find poets who resonate with you, and do that. Real quick, we got to get out. We got to get to our picture. Yes.
Real quick.
Yeah.
That line.